Where is he?
Where are you? Skull Rock. Do you know it?
Oh, look, it's a bird. It flew away. Look at that. All right, on that note, that's going to set the vibe on how I'm feeling. I just flipped Megan the bird. So if you didn't guess, guys, hello. This is Stacy over at the Skull Rock Broadcast. I am joined by...
Hello, this is Megan, and welcome back to our Stranger Things podcast. And Stacy really needs some therapy right now. So I am so excited
Big time.
to finally talk about Stranger Things season 5. Stacy and I have just been catching up a little bit because it's been like over a week since we've talked.
I miss you.
I missed you so much. It is Tuesday. So Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1, the first 4 episodes, have been out for about a week. And we've had plenty of time to process. We've only talked a little bit about it. And I'm super excited to chat about it and hopefully help Stacy process her feelings about everything.
Guys, I need a peanut butter bopper.
I actually think it's hilarious that I genuinely enjoyed it so much. There are a couple things that I have complaints about it, but like for the most part, I loved it. But I think it's great because we have differing points of view and we'll have a lot to talk about. Now, you have to. So Stacy was apparently not a big fan. So we're going to talk about that and we're going to help her get through this. We're going to get through this together, okay?
Okay. I'm going to take your hand and you're going to lead me up the radio tower because I feel like jumping off it right now. Too dark, guys? Too dark? Okay.
Well, and can we talk about like where you feel like these feelings are coming from a little bit? I do feel like a therapist right now.
So, as you know, I had Andy, Brandy, and Rachel over. They spent Thanksgiving with me. We did our own Friendsgiving. Earlier on the 26th, we did Steve-a-Palooza. We went to Chili's. We were all dressed up as different Steves. We had a blast. I had themed cocktails. We had themed snacks. And I feel like what my issue was, and I've already discussed this with Megan, was, as we know, Stranger Things takes up probably about 70% of my brain, okay? And I have been a mega fan since season 3. Like, I've been in another orbit since season 4, you know? I collect, I have it on all the time, you know, I read fanfic, covered in tattoos of it. Most of my wardrobe is Stranger Things. My realtor, referred to my house as the Stranger Things house. It's basically, and then the other percentage is like donuts, Joe, and Snoopy. But mostly it's Stranger Things. And I think the anticipation of all this time going by, 3 years, it just consuming so much of my life. I had the bar set past the radio
way
tower.
Too high. Yeah.
Way too high. And I am somebody who I really pride myself in enjoying well-written things. I love, well-written dialogue. I had to realize that, with last season, we had 7 episodes when they decided to first split it up. This was only 4, you know? And mind you, if they had only done 4 episodes, it would have ended with Dear Billy. And I still think that would have been enough. I think it would have been a strong first volume. But I think I just had expectations that were almost unrealistic, honestly, guys. And I think after 2 powerhouse seasons, at least in my eyes, with 3 and 4, that I was setting myself up for failure. And I'll get more into it, but I think my biggest things was a lot of rehashing of stuff that was going on, such as Hop and Elle. I get you are scared for her and you're being overprotective, but she's proved herself that, she can handle herself. And yes, you have the military hunting her, and he has this surrogate father-daughter relationship, but he's gone through hell and back with Russia and returning. You'd think there'd be a little bit of trust. And her way of training is training like she's getting ready for the Olympics. Like Brenner, even though he was a sick and twisted, bastard, a lot of it was training in the mind. So I felt like they're kind of like back and forth, just not trusting each other, arguing. I get it, him being upset seeing her in the upside down during the crawl because the military now apparently has a whole base. They must have really great generators, guys. Helicopters are now in there, and now there's a weapon, that they can use against her, the kryptonite. But just the whole scene on the train tracks, I usually, whenever they reference Sarah, his deceased daughter, it makes sense. It has an emotional impact. This time it was almost like, okay, well, we're going to use some stock footage and it's not going to really make much of a difference. It's almost like Hopps using this as guilt card. And I'm like, it's just the same thing. Like, it's almost season 2 all over again with him not trusting her and wanting to keep her in a bubble. So that was really, really frustrating. My other thing was, I can only imagine. You guys are now quarantined in this hell, okay? And I get it, like we were all in the pandemic and we weren't facing, an evil wizard with the military, covering up like the huge holes with metal things that people use, saucers down. I get how people are irritable. They said that this was the umpteenth crawl that they had done and they were getting nowhere. Tensions are high. People are depressed. They're losing hope. That was all realistic. And I have to understand, you have to start these characters not in a great space. The 18-month jump felt kind of, I don't know, maybe like it did make sense that they were in this bad spot. Everyone was irritable. Everyone was snippy with each other. And I didn't mind, like it was heartbreaking, mind you. I didn't mind grieving Dustin or him and Steve. Mind you, it hurt seeing them, especially like Steve's reaction to everything. Because my first thing was, Steve's going to immediately be like, give me these guys' names, I'm going to kick their ass. But then instead, it's Steve being defensive because he's being shut out from this kid and he can't, like, he understands he's grieving his other surrogate big brother. There's nothing that he can do. So I get that. But, like, it was almost like, okay, well, Jonathan and Steve are in a pissing contest, or at least I see it more on Jonathan's end more than Steve's, believe it or not. There's that pissing contest going on there. There's Dustin, is mad at everybody, which I don't blame him. Then there's, Mike and Lucas, they are like, you got to keep your head down. And it just like, it seemed like everybody was fighting. Like Nancy, even before the stuff happened with her parents, she was being snippy and ungrateful. And usually Murray's just there for comic relief. But I'm kind of glad he tore Dustin a new one, being like, I'm risking myself coming in daily to bring you guys what I can. And everybody was at each other's throats. Joyce was almost like it was at a whole new level of how overprotective she was being. And then Will, yes, he did apologize. He acted like a little brat.
No.
Robin
I think that was deserved. And I was I'm writing all of these things down.
I'm gonna kick you out of the Pinto.
I was like, go, Will, like, good for you. Like
I just felt like they were way too much. And it just was like everybody was snipping and snapping at each other. Everybody had something really rude, pissy to say to each other. And I'm like, I hope that this is as bad as it's going to get for our characters. Because what always made this show so wonderful was the power of friendship, how they all felt like family. But of course, family and some of the best of friends
fight.
No shit, Sherlock. So literally, I understand that's what happens. That's natural. They're going to drive each other crazy. They're going to get into some heated, awful arguments and be ready to kill each other. And I think that's what's going to maybe make some storylines have a better emotional impact.
Yeah.
But it got to the point that it seemed so repetitive that it was just okay, we get it now. We're beating a demodog into the ground. And my last part was how predictable it was. How fucking predictable it was, guys. And please, like I said, this is just my thoughts. I will never yuck anybody's yum. If somebody felt otherwise, you're entitled to your opinion. I know Megan liked it a lot, but I literally tried to give it a few days and rewatch it, and it was just making me notice more stuff I didn't like. But definitely everything I thought was going to happen, like, I'm sorry, they were pussies not to kill off at least one of the Wheelers.
I said that too.
And I think maybe one of them or both of them could still die, but that was such a cheap thing. Like, Karen's larynx was literally ripped out. Now, mind you, I would rather her survive than Ted. I thought that was a cheap cop-out. I thought that right away, I was like, okay, then we already know it's going to be Holly Wheeler that's kidnapped. Boom. The whole, he's collecting kids. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I had some icky groomer energy going on there. I was like, and maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I'm like, no, I don't. This is gross. Max with the whole like, oh, I'm in this memory, and Brandy even said, she was like, what if it's his humanity and that's why she's hiding in it? What if it's some memory of his? It all seems so predictable, and everybody losing their goddamn minds over Will at the end. Mind you, it was an epic last few minutes, the way they shot it and stuff, and Noah looked like a badass. But we all saw that coming.
No. Let me. Okay, I'm gonna stop you.
I'm gonna say one last thing. It was Harry Potter all over again. We all saw it coming, and if you didn't, girlfriend.
If you didn't, you're not a super fan. And you have to remember that they're not just writing this show for super fans. They're writing this show and making the show for the entire fucking world that's watching it right now.
Are they dumbing it down then? Are they dumbing it down for audiences?
I think that they're making it something that can be universally enjoyed. And I don't think
they're dumbing it down.
Maybe. But like, do you think that season 3 was dumbed down? Like, season 3 was universally enjoyable.
No, but the fact that they're making it, what do you mean by him having powers?
Yeah, I just don't think that the general public would have predicted that Will would have powers.
If you had been watching since at least season 2.
If you had only watched it once.
You would know he has a connection to the mind flare.
Right.
And he gets the prickly oogly googlies every time something happens. There's a connection. And the beginning of this season.
But then if you don't.
I'm going to argue over you. We're going to do beautiful things together.
I let you talk for just 13 minutes. So
and
come
then
on.
shoves shit down his throat. And we're still completely gagged that, oh my God, now he has the connection. How many times is the kid going to roll his eyes back and faint and see through the demodog's eyes?
I don't think it was surprising. But I also know that I'm more than just a casual viewer. And I feel like to a casual viewer, and I think it can still be cool, even if it's not surprising. So you talked for a long time, so I get to talk now. So
How dare you?
I have been talking about this, guys, for 2 years on this fucking podcast. And I know that is easy to do, to get your hopes up too much for like a final installment for something. And I feel like that's what I've been trying. I have been determined that I was going to enjoy this, even though I'm really fucking sad that it's going to be over. And I didn't want to be disappointed. And I think that's one of the things with that whole thing where sometimes I don't even watch the last episode or last season or read the last chapter of books, because I feel like you've built it up so much for yourself in your mind and you love it so much that it's not just about it being over, it's about like you being like disappointed in the ending. And I feel like that's one of the things that I was like nervous about going into this season. And I feel like that's sort of like what I was trying to mentally prepare myself for it not to happen. So that's why I wanted to avoid as many. I'm actually going to talk about a couple of the things at the beginning of the season that I feel like I wish I could have been surprised about had I not been paying too much attention during the past 3.5 years. Like, obviously to us, Mr. Whatsit being Henry, being Vecna was not a surprise.
Nope.
That was a leak that we had
Yep.
seen. I was grateful that we found out as early in the season as we did, because it was like not something that needed to like have a lot of build up. I was like, because I think you found out like right at the beginning of the second episode, if I'm remembering correctly. So I was almost like, oh, good. Like, I'm glad this wasn't some reveal in like the 7th episode that I'm going to be disappointed about, because I like wanted there to be some surprises. I do agree with you that there weren't really many surprises in this first part, but also, like you said, we've only gotten 4 episodes, so I'm going to get into that a little bit. But I also, that's one of the reasons I was like, I need to watch this by myself, because I feel like if I'm around other people, I'm just going to feed off of whatever they're thinking about it. And I didn't even want to talk to anybody like the whole day before or basically a whole day after. I didn't want to hear anybody's opinions. I didn't want to go online and like kind of skew like my enjoyment of it, because I was determined that I'm going to let myself enjoy this kind of no matter what, because it has been such a big part of my life. I did enjoy it genuinely, and I had such a good time watching it. And I'm not as critical, I feel like, about things as you sometimes can be. Not that it's a bad thing to be critical. A critic, like a film critic, that's like a fucking job, right? You could do this as a job. Go ahead. She was raising her hand.
First of all, guys, notice how when she was sharing her opinion, I was quiet, because that is how you listen when somebody is sharing their opinion. She kept trying to talk over me. So
I let you talk for 10 full minutes.
And guess what? You kept trying to talk over me.
I never did.
Bitch, I will literally...
You will listen back to the beginning of that episode.
I will sick a demodog on you, because you could talk for 20 and I will say that. I will agree. I have done film reviews.
Oh, yeah.
I get that whole thing. I don't take that as an insult at all.
No, and I don't mean it as an insult.
And I do genuinely believe that you did enjoy it. I don't think you're faking it, but people who are just going to like, I'm going to like it no matter what, there's going to be parts that people are going to love no matter what. But I feel like if you're just saying I'm going to like it just to say to like it because it's been such a big part of your life, and I know that's not what you're doing.
Right.
I was like, that's why, like, even Brandy she waited until I shared my thoughts, because she was like, I didn't want to piss on your parade. And I'm like, no, I think that kind of shows that, you know, every fan is different with their taste. I generally didn't like it, but I'm like, who knows? I might be hard for volume 2.
Maybe. And also, like I said before we even started recording, it's not the end of the world if season 5 isn't your favorite season of the show.
Nope.
It can still be your favorite show, and season 3 and 4 are your favorite seasons. Like, and then you have less of a hard time when somebody asks you your favorite season. Like, but I do think I've heard a lot of people's opinions at this point that are like outside of the fandom, and people are loving this season. And I think it is cool. Like, there's a lot of really cool things about it. As a super fan, and as somebody who's like built season 4 up in my head so much, and whose brain chemistry was literally changed by season 4, I felt like I knew that it was a good chance that I might not like this season as much. And I was scared of that in a way, because I just didn't want to be disappointed by the ending. And I was just trying to set myself up to allow myself to like it, but also I did like it. So, and that's not to say that there weren't things that I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I like a little bit of like angst if it's going to pay off. And I like a lot of like in books or like fics or something like that. Like, that's one of my favorite things, because if it's angsty at the beginning and people are like fighting and having a lot of emotions, like, that's when you have the ability to really have like an emotional payoff with stuff like that.
It's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah. And so I feel like my thoughts are all over the place with this right now, but someone has pointed out to me that they've rewatched a lot of the trailers that are out so far, and I'm not sure if you have yet, but really we haven't seen hardly anything from volumes 2 and 3 in the trailers. If you watch back the trailers, the majority of the trailers
Volume 1
was volume 1. There's like the scene of Steve and Dustin hugging, which we haven't seen, which we know. Like,
we already know.
Something's going to happen with them, and they're going to be able to make up, and that's going to make this fighting that they've been doing this in the beginning of the season even more emotionally like powerful, I guess. And it's just so interesting because you watch back season 3 and season 4. We've talked about it a lot with season 4. Like, Dustin has been mean to Steve.
Kind of a dick, yeah.
Yeah. And like their friendship in season 3 and pre-season 3, which you don't actually even get to see, but you just assume is like peak Dustin and Steve. Season 4, they were already having this issue where they were getting so frustrated with each other. So like you said, 18 months is a long time to be like stuck in this town with these people. Like they are family, and it is this found family dynamic where they're family and they're all close enough that they are going to fight with each other.
Yeah,
and
they're at each other's throats.
And I know what they're doing. Like, they're setting it up to be this big emotional, like,
because he started it off with them all like holding hands, everything's hunky dory. After how much of a bummer season 4 the cliffhanger was, you wouldn't feel any journey. And that's what I said in my Instagram post. I was like, it bummed me out, but I get what the Duffer Brothers are doing. So I think there is going to be quite the payoff with several relationships. But like, 2 things I must ask you.
Yeah.
One was, did you feel like, okay, it's 8 at the end behind the door?
Yeah. We've talked about this before. We are not huge fans of that storyline, and I felt like they had sort of scrapped it. I have a feeling, like, my prediction, vibes, is that she's going to die really quickly.
You think so? Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they would save her death for, like, the final thing.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe like immediately now Elle's going to try to help her escape, and they're going to get out. And this is just me like spitballing, but like they're going to get out and die like almost immediately, which like I feel like she's going to have like a small role to play, but it's not going to be an emotional loss if we lose her because so I feel like they can't really save that as like the big death. Like,
I think you might be right. I think they're going to probably like try to escape or something, but like right away I was like, do they have her captive? Are they using like the kryptonite with her to like stop Elle? But like, this was another thing, like, Pop's suicide vest, you went through Russia, you survived Russia, they have literally blown this Vecna to holy hell, and you think your dynamite is going to take him out and you're going to leave Elle alone?
That's him, though. That's
he was
classic
saying,
Hopper.
You make me so proud. I would have gone, we're doing this? We're doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
you going back to the train tracks, I do agree with you a little bit that I wasn't sure about the purpose of that Sarah scene at that point.
Yeah.
I think, again, it was more just to remind a casual viewer about it, because I feel like there's going to be something to do with Sarah. And we've always said that Sarah was going to have a bigger, like, something with Sarah was going to mean more than we know already. So basically it was just like to trigger people's memories of this thing that happened with Sarah. It was short. It's not like they spent a lot of time on it.
I just feel like, I don't know. I heard a rumor that people are almost like, you know how a lot of people are like, did AI write this? And we all know the Duffer Brothers definitely wrote this. But I heard a rumor like they're trying to make it so people can pay better attention because they're spending all their time on their phones. I don't know about you. I shut my phone off completely.
Oh, yeah. But, again, that's us. That's us, the casual viewer.
I don't know. So I'm gonna keep my thoughts quiet about that.
No, you can say what you think. Like,
I just think it's kind of annoying and insulting.
Yeah.
To even a regular casual fan. Like,
Yeah.
well, let's recap this. Even though we've shown this heartbreaking, flashback in almost every
I
season,
know,
and
but
we've
it's been
talked about it.
3.5 years. Some people have literally not seen this for 3.5 years.
So they have to use precious minutes by showing the little girl dying in the hospital again. I don't know.
I
Guys,
get it.
I'm nitpicking.
I get it. I get
I'm
it.
nitpicking. I get it.
But I did like Stubborn Punk Ass. I thought that was really funny. And
That was cute.
That was their vibe. And they got past their fighting pretty quickly too. And I feel like her being like taken down by that like speaker thing or whatever and then him being able to like destroy it and then her coming out, and I was like, why didn't they fucking kill that soldier? Because they just kind of knocked him out. And I knew that was going to be like, that was going to come back to like bite them in the ass. But like, I thought that was all pretty cool. The grenades too, like
the grenades were
and
awesome.
They were hidden under the lettuce, and then
I was like, damn, apparently they don't check those trucks.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton, I think, is absolutely brilliant. I am a big, big fan of her from the Terminator movies. She is a badass lady. And, I know some people are being critical about her role. And I think, like, it's about time we see some badass bitch.
Yeah.
And there's more than meets the eye with this character, especially with her doing the whole, like, heat and cold thing with Hop and what looks like a giant earthworm. That's what I kept referring it to. And I was like, Brenner made a great villain. Don't get me wrong, so didn't the Russians. But something about Linda Hamilton, there's more than meets the eye, especially the fact that right away I went, the base is in the upside down. You're taking a huge risk putting your base down there. And what I did like, too, is the Demogorgons are front row and center as our main villains. And these Demogorgons, they're on steroids. The fact that they have the ability to drop through gates. Back then it was when they made a kill. Now they can literally come through gates and close gates and open gates at will. And they just seem faster, more vicious. And I got to tell you, like, I hadn't been nervous about like a monster or creature from the show in quite some time. These new Demogorgons are absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. And there's just so many of them. Like, I feel like typically when we had Demogorgons, it was just one, or when we had the Demodogs, there was lots of them. But it was like when you had the Demogorgons, it was just one. So we talked a little bit about Steve and Dustin. I think Dustin grieving and having his like Max sort of moment like makes so much sense, and he's doing a fantastic job with it. Gaten.
Anybody who's picking apart Dustin's character have never gone through grief. That's how I look at it. It's a complicated thing. There's different stages to it. And this kid has been through horrific trauma since the age of like 11. And he lost his surrogate brother who basically, told him never to change. And he died in his arms. He was the one that had to inform his poor uncle that he died. He has to live with the fact that Eddie sacrificed himself for a town that has labeled him a murderer, and look how they defile his grave. And, he wants to look after the little sheepies and proudly wears Hellfire jacket. A lot of people were like, he's acting like a brand, he's being this. I was actually on Dustin's side because I said, this makes sense. And one thing I did like was, how concerned Lucas and Mike were when they finally saw him. And the fact that his story of riding into something, like falling off his bike, I think he ended up adding this detail, like, oh, I ran into something, like a light pole or something, and you see Steve clock it, like, wait a second. And it's hard because his other surrogate brother, Steve, is frustrated that he's pushing him away. So it's almost like he doesn't have anybody.
Yeah.
So he's like, he almost seems to be acting like, am I the only one that like still remembers Eddie? Like, like you guys are so focused on getting back and on this and that. So I think his performance so far has been aces.
Yeah, absolutely one of my favorite parts. And like you said, it's so heartbreaking to see Steve so frustrated with him. But it's because they care about each other so deeply. There was somebody made an edit of all of the little like references to Eddie Munson that have been in the season so far, and they did leave out the part about the sheepies that you brought up, because like I think Mike and Will and Lucas were talking about, oh, he wants to restart Hellfire Club. He keeps talking about these sheepies, but it's like that's literally what Eddie tasked him to do.
His dying words, yeah.
And now I'm like thinking about all those kids, and maybe they can like start a D&D club for them when it's all over.
Should. They really should.
Because those are definitely going to be the sheepies. I think Derek needs some D&D.
Derek, I gotta tell you, at first I was like, this little prick. He grew on me, and I think I can speak for everybody for two parts. One was when his family was getting drugged, and he starts laughing at his parents' knockout, and then how hard his head hits the table. That killed me. And then when he tells Robin to suck a fat one, I instantly I usually cannot stand a kid like that. I immediately, and then him doing like kind of starting like his own little cult with visualization.
That was fantastic. Yeah.
I loved him. And I was like, wow, I did not expect this, because you know how the Duffers were like, we're not going to add any new characters. I at first was like, who the hell is this kid? He was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
and I'm like, MVP. Like,
I was also critical, or I was also like not sure that I was going to like apprehensive. Yeah. Like I felt like he was just going to be like annoying, or
he's not dipshit, Derek. He's delightful, Derek.
Yeah. And I love that it was like Joyce saying that to him, giving him a little pep talk. Yeah, I like Derek is definitely one of like the best characters in the season.
You met Tina, by the way.
Right. That was kind of cool. Like that was definitely a fun thing that we got to like find. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Tina, the Turnbows, because we knew about the Turnbows and that Derek was Turnbow, but I didn't expect it to be Tina's family and the whole connection with Erica. Yeah. Like I thought that the pie part was funny. The setting up the house sort of like Home Alone style was a fun callback to season 1, I thought. It wasn't like my favorite thing. Like
maybe because we had our Elm Street episode, so I was like, oh, okay. But like in season 1, it was a little more realistic, the little traps that they set. This one, like Brandy looked at me and went, can you cut through like a floor that easily? And I go, it's Steve with a chainsaw, I guess so.
I think you can.
Mind you, Stacy can't even hammer a nail straight. But I'm like, it's a big enough chainsaw. I think so. Like, it all depends. But it just seemed like it happened so quickly. Like, and there were a lot of different references, like the barbed wire. I thought of the movie Suspiria. And it was interesting. But like this Demogorgon, like, if it wanted to, it could make a gate on the floor with the barbed wire and dip. But I saw the tracker. The tracker reminded me of the tracker in Jaws. So I kind of got that reference. So that was interesting. But
do they shoot it into the...
They shoot it into one of the barrels that shot into the shark. And it's the same thing. Like it blinks and stuff and beeps. So that was pretty cool. And I do like that, like, they kind of explained, if anybody was to question it, going, well, you shoot it in a shotgun, like, it's going to explode. And then see, like, a badass.
Actually tests it out.
It out. I wish there had been more radio station, and I'm kind of hoping there still is. I don't know if we'll have time for it. I did like the whole speaking in code thing. Steve doing all the sound effects. I don't know why it tickled my fancy, but him doing the whistle in the background killed me.
Yeah.
But I just really liked it. And like Robin, somebody once said, like, it seems like she's playing a different character each season. And we've said that her guard is up in season 3. Then it's down because she starts getting more comfortable. And now she's confident because she started this relationship with Vicky, possibly her first ever relationship.
And she's just comfortable with everybody now. Like you saw her like sort of start to get comfortable with Steve. And she was comfortable with Steve in season 4. Like I feel like her talkativeness, like at the very beginning of season 4, that was already there, but it was only with Steve, and she was insecure, like you said. I love that they've just kind of like established this relationship with Vicky.
Yeah,
I think
it's already been going on.
That it wasn't, because it was less like, I didn't want to see more like angst about her relationship with Vicky. Like 18
Yeah.
months later,
They're already
they're
in
in
it,
a relationship. Like
which I was
I
kind of a
liked that.
little. I was a little like, just like her biggest concern was hiding from her girlfriend because she promised her Enzo's, which right away I was like, I love that Enzo's is still
It's still
going.
open, yeah.
Despite all of this. But a lot of people are like, yeah, just tell her the truth. But that is a lot to unpack and putting her at risk. Which I was like, somebody is getting fired with all those drugs getting stolen. But it was the 80s. Nothing was really under lock and key, which I believe that secretary that she gave the Twinkies to that loves her so much, I think that's the one that's like 2 at a damn time from season 3.
It is. Yeah.
Love that she came
Because
back.
she and I don't know if you caught it, but Nancy was like, she hates me. She still hates her from season 3. But like Robin was able to bribe her with like snacks.
Love that.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun detail too. Speaking about Joyce being overprotective, I think she's always been super overprotective, and it was refreshing to see Will finally like stand up for himself and go against what his mom said. And I think Robin was sort of like, it was a little weird of a dynamic that like Robin was like forcing him to like, you know, not do what his mom said. But like, again, they've gotten so close over the past 18 months that she almost felt like she could do that, I guess. I don't know. That was
I don't know. I get what you're saying. I think what they wanted to definitely show was the fact that the two queer characters had each other in this.
which is so important. And
Some
so
people said it was forced. Other people said that it was almost like Dustin and Steve's relationship, because Will has kind of been out there on his own. So he finally realized, oh, wait, you know, I may be different, but there's somebody else. But I kind of like that Robin said, you know, even though she was obsessed with Vicky and kind of got Vicky in the end, her big, like, you know, thing was, you know, your strength isn't from somebody liking you back or, you know, loving you. You know, you kind of basically got to love yourself, you know, before you can do any of that.
well, I liked, she brought up Tammy. It was her crush on Tammy that she had to like realize that like that wasn't going to be for her. So I do think that
I think it was when she saw Mike and him talking.
Yeah.
It's almost like, honey, he's never going to feel the same way you feel about him, and you can't take it personal. You just have to kind of remember what you love about yourself and carry on. And I think that was a big thing because Will clearly has had these feelings for quite a while. So it was very interesting to see these two characters together. But with Joyce, like, she was borderline, like, breastfeeding him this season. Like, it was a little bit much. I don't like his tone that he used in the car, calling her plan stupid. But then again, Will apologized the next day, you know, and she kind of even said it, like, yeah, you know, if you and Robin hadn't gone out and done this and stuff, I've just been so scared, you know?
I've said worse things to my mom.
You're going to hell. No, I'm lying. I'm joking. Guys.
And I love my mom.
If you have a good relationship with your mom, give her a hug. No, but I really like that he did apologize, and she kind of fessed up too that she was wrong. But I noticed she mentioned the guilt she feels. Why didn't I check on you when I got home? Not that it would have made a difference. And she did get him back, but it's almost her doubting herself as a mother.
Yeah.
So I like that both kind of came to that head with each other. That was very, very interesting. I want to hear your thoughts about the whole quote unquote love triangle.
Okay, but I want to talk about the mother thing real quick. We'll get to the love triangle. I have thoughts. But it was funny. My friend texted me and she said exactly what we had said on like one of our last episodes, where the Duffer Brothers must have a really great mom and not a great relationship with their dad. Like, maybe they do. I mean, I'm not like, maybe their dad is great. Like, It's
Yeah.
fine. But it just seems that like all of the mothers in the show are like fantastic and all of the dads and father figures kind of suck. Like
They're all golfing in the backyard
but
when
also
Fernando's playing.
Papa, like I feel like we came up with Papa, and also Hopper saying like kids are like hardwired to reject their fathers, and like we're criticizing Hop this season like for his actions again, like, but Joyce is a good mom and she does have a lot of guilt, and that's why she's overprotective, and I liked that Will stood up to her. I think that I get where you're coming from with like just the whole vibe of it could have maybe been done a little bit
And guys,
differently, but
full transparency, I'm somebody who lost their mom young. So, like, hearing somebody talk to somebody who you have seen be such a good mom, and I'm like, you're just going to regret that. That's going
Yeah.
to haunt you, Will.
see,
If she ends up
this is therapy.
This is therapy, guys. We're getting deep. We started off arguing. Now we're like, let's get deep and depressing. But like, it's so true without being too much of a bummer. Teenagers are snippy. I can only imagine teenagers who have gone through what Will has gone through, and it's the apocalypse, and you're under quarantine, and you're being like, basically treated like glass, like you're going to break, and you're going to snap. It's going to happen. But as somebody who has lost their mother, and my mother was a saint, her and Joyce, they would have had coffee together.
Yeah.
It's gonna haunt you, even though looking back, you're like, it wasn't that bad. They still knew I loved them. It's gonna haunt you. And I think it just goes to show you what an important relationship they have together. So when I watched that, I actually cringed and I went, what the fuck? How dare you talk to your mom that way?
Yeah.
But then I had to remind myself, well, I've said it a million times before. Probably raising teenage Stacy probably blew the big one. And I'm like, and I probably was acting like a fucking idiot. And my poor mother was a saint. You're talking to the little girl who thought she was pregnant with puppies because my leg grazed the dog's penis that I was dancing with as a little kid. And I had to wake her up in the middle of the night once going, Mom, I'm going to have puppies. And she's, guys, that's that Catholic education.
Do you want me to cut that out?
No, keep it in, guys. This is group therapy. 8 years old, dancing with the neighbor's dog. My leg grazed its penis. I went to Catholic school. We didn't have sex ed. So I immediately went, I'm going to have puppies. And then my crippling anxiety had me like not sleep for a few days. And then I woke my poor mother up crying. She's like, what is it? I'm like, I'm going to have puppies. And she's like, go to bed. Like, I put that woman in an early grave, so I can only imagine. But literally, like, with Will, I'm like, well, dude, you can't beat yourself up. I'm glad you stood up for yourself. But Joyce, I think part of her needed to hear it.
Yeah.
Part of her needed to witness it. But I hope, like, from this point, like, we don't know what her reaction is going to be. I mean, she was throwing like a sack of potatoes. But if you notice, this volume was her going, like, without even a weapon, charging to Vecna after you took out, like, the whole military, stay away from my son. Karen Wheeler, drunk as a fucking skunk.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Let's get into that.
Let's talk about Karen Wheeler. So it honestly bummed me out a little bit when she was getting so drunk. And I got it. Like, I got what they were doing because she's so stressed with all of these extra people living in her house and all of that. But also, I felt like they were doing a callback to some drunk moms in Nightmare on Elm Street.
You're welcome for me showing you these movies.
I know. I was like, look, that's a drunk mom.
Who listens to Fernando before everybody said, can we all agree that Demogorgon, its name is Fernando?
I love that. But like, it was so quick to turn it around and to like show her just being a badass mom who's like gonna take out the Demogorgon with the wine bottle.
With a wine bottle.
And I knew as soon as she came down and that wine bottle was sitting right there, I was like, she's gonna grab the wine bottle, go for the wine bottle. But I thought the hiding in the bubble bath was also very cool.
Yeah, that was a cool shot. And like, I always tend to like try to hold my breath, like in Deep Blue Sea when LL Cool J is like, everybody grab hands. We're going to pray as we flood, under the sea research facility, and I wouldn't make it. Like LL Cool J would have to pull my dead corpse up to the surface of the ocean. So I have yet to do it because I have a bit of a cold, so I'd probably die. But I'm like, her and her kid did a good job holding their breath because that thing was vicious. It was breaking apart that entire house.
Yeah. So I'm a Ted Wheeler apologist. You know this. He was pretty brave standing up to the Demogorgon.
Him going, heavens to Bitsy. He said something like that. And he did try to swing at it with the golf club.
Yeah.
But, like, he went flying. Like, and I didn't realize he got clawed, too, in the
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah.
So he's in a medically induced coma. Nobody went to visit him. But, like, the behind-the-scenes photos, like, it was gory as hell. Like, her larynx was torn out, basically. She was fucked up. So that was emotional seeing, like, you know, Nancy's reaction and them at the hospital. And, like, I hated that doctor, which... For anybody who's had to deal with a doctor like that, ugh.
Yeah, gross.
But right away, I went to be like, Holly, you seem oddly calm. Like, what ended up happening? Did the Demogorgon just drag you into this new dimension? And now you're having, like, scones with Mr. What's-It?
Yeah,
What
like,
happened?
I agree with you there. Like, as soon as they got into the Upside Down, was she automatically just in her vision? Like,
Yeah, and I'd be like, what happened to Mom? Like, did she witness any of that?
yeah.
And he's like, we're going to make chocolate pancakes. I'd be like, but my because he promises your parents are going to come. I'd be like,
Well, and they do talk about it. They're like, he's like, are you still worried about your parents? Like, they're in the best possible hands. Like, they're taking care of them. So I feel like she did know that a monster took her. So he must have somehow rescued her from the monster in her mind, because she knew her parents were hurt and that she was worried about them. And he was like, as soon as they're better, they're going to join us here. But okay,
Creepy.
speaking of her being taken, I'm also glad that you showed me Poltergeist, because like
how poltergeist Coda was that when he's trying to grab her and she's holding on to the bed?
yeah, like, and the room is just like, because it like all gets sucked in, right? Like,
Stick with me, kid. Stick with me.
I was like, that scene was really cool. And that was like, was that the end of the second
One.
episode or the
I
first?
think it was the beginning of
beginning of the second episode. Yeah.
You must have loved her when she put on the blue dress, because right away I was like, Megan. Right away it was like Leo Point, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Well, and it was cool. Somebody pointed out that she was making her outfit look like the little figurine that Mike gave her.
Yeah.
So like with like she saw the little like Boy Scout thing in the picture. She was basically like seeing everything that she could do to make what she was wearing look like the little figurine that Mike had given her. So speaking of the Wheelers, speaking of the Wheelers, Mike and Nancy working together and being together in the hospital was like one of my favorite parts.
It was nice because literally, like, they kind of, like, you remember, no more secrets. We're going to be honest with each other. And yeah, they work together as a big team in, you know, seasons. But the fact that it was just these two siblings together, working together, like, I really liked that dynamic because we really haven't seen them one-off with each other since season 1. So that was pretty cool.
And Mike actually giving Holly that like pep talk and giving
That
her
was nice.
and Holly the heroic, like just the whole like Wheeler siblings vibe was cool because we haven't really seen that at all.
If I had to give you one, Megan the Magnificent.
Stacy the Stellar.
I like that.
Mike, what was Mike? Just Mike the Brave or something stupid?
I kept going, Mike the Heart. And then, like, do you carry those little, like, people with you all the time that look exactly like everybody? I'm like, those are his. Remember Worry Dolls? Those were his Worry Dolls.
He is a nerd, but I thought so. I always have liked Mike more than some people. And I thought he was great in this season.
I have to be honest, I had no complaints with him.
Yeah.
And you guys know me. I will rip that poor teenager apart. I didn't mind him, honestly. He
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
He was
but
very sweet to Will. When Dustin came and got out of the van after Steve had
he
chewed
was
him out,
concerned.
like Dustin was apologizing, and Mike was the only one that was like, you don't need to apologize. Like,
Yep.
we're just glad you're okay. Like, I was like,
This was season 1, partly season 2, Mike, and it was nice to see him back for sure.
Yeah. And actually, I really thought that the conversation that Mike and Elle had on the roof was kind of nice, because it was sort
It
of
was
like
a more mature version, you know?
they weren't really talking about their relationship or anything like
for
that.
once.
It was
Yep.
just like, what's going to happen at the end of all of this? Like,
Yeah.
and I like that Mike kind of related it to his D&D campaigns, and like that's not necessarily realistic, but like it is just giving her some hope that like if they get through that, there can be like a happy ending for them. And I feel like she needed that, because everything has just been so bleak, and
God.
her life has never had any peace. So it's just like her just being like, could that be real for us, was just like so like,
Could I see a waterfall?
yeah. I just want her to see a waterfall. I was like, Mike, why can't the waterfalls be real? Like, find a place with 3 waterfalls.
Niagara Falls. Hello.
Let's talk about the love triangle.
All
Are you
right.
ready?
I have to say, honestly, I felt like it's more on in Jonathan's head.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I feel like we're both going to defend Steve until the cows come home.
Yeah,
But like
Steve could set fire to an orphanage. I'd be like, oh, you didn't mean it. Because I think when he suggested bringing flowers to the hospital, he genuinely meant like
as
to
a
cheer
friend,
her
and
up
for
as a friend.
Jonathan to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he wasn't just suggesting that he bring the flowers. He was suggesting that Jonathan bring her flowers. He was sort of trying to show Jonathan that like that would be a nice gesture.
This is what you do. You don't push them away, which Jonathan's been doing. And I like that kind of Steve after Jonathan had his little hissy fit with him. And I think it's more of his own insecurities that Steve basically just rips him out, being like, my friend, you know, and he's like, and the only other person as miserable as you are, you know, is her. And I like that Steve stood up for himself. But honestly, with the whole like competition thing, I think it was Steve. He is always putting his ass on the line, doing dumb things and taking risks. I don't think it was a dick measuring contest on his side of things. And even though a lot of people were chewing apart the green screen, which, yeah, it was a little evident they weren't going to have those boys up on a real radio tower, but I loved this. Like, this music felt different. That's why I'm really excited for the actual instrumental portion of the soundtrack to be released. It was just so 80s, and just seeing them both climb a ladder. Guys, I would have tapped three rungs in. I would have been like, no, I'm good. Like, the only thing that would have made it better is like they were shirtless, but like it was hot. It was really funny and stuff. But I love when they got down and Murray delivers the Gatorade, which I could watch Steve Harrington drinking Gatorade all day long. And then the Boppers, which we know
and
from...
he was so excited about them.
Boppers! I hope they somehow have some... I don't know if I guess Nutri-Grain was behind them. Rachel looked it up. And I'm like, that means those things crumble apart. But I had only recognized them because our friend Tracy first pointed it out. They're featured in The Lost Boys. They're on the refrigerator shelf of the grandfathers. And they look good. I love peanut butter. But like at first, like, I was a little like, are they doing like some affiliation with Boppers? Because the fact that like that was kind of Steve's thing this season, I'm like, is this all they're giving this poor guy? Like his love of a candy bar and him describing the gate as a peanut butter bopper before driving into the silo? I'd be like, we're as good as fucking dead. But I feel like with Jonathan, that was a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, all the little, like, moments and stuff. It just, yet again, like, I think it's more of a dick measuring contest because of his insecurities. Steve is just trying to genuinely help, but the engagement ring...
Yeah. So before we talk about the ring, I did want to just point out that I thought it was cute that Steve thought of flowers. Yes, I get where people are saying, well, like, Nancy would not have wanted the flowers, like, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
But Steve brought Nancy flowers in season 2, and he never got to give them to her.
And those are roses. Those are expensive.
I know. But so the ring, I just like
Now's not the time, Jonathan.
no, but it's almost like Murray's like pressuring him into that.
Yeah, I
Like-
want to be like, we did the nasty at your old house, and since then you have had an unhealthy investment in this. Like, why are you pressuring two teenagers, because that's what they are, to make this rash decision because the world might be ending?
I just had like a really random thought.
Go.
Okay. So there's this moment where Hopper is going down into the tunnel and Joyce is standing there and he's like, "You're just so beautiful." And they have like a whole little conversation as he's leaving. And she says, "You didn't answer my question," which I kind of felt like her question was just like, I don't really know like what her question was, but
The
They-
ring's for a hop.
that's what I'm thinking.
That's
I think
a woman's ring.
I think that no. Hold on. I think that Hopper has asked Joyce to marry him already, and that
Okay.
we didn't see it. I
Maybe
think
this is a cop out. It's actually for somebody else. Jonathan's getting it for his mom, you think, or for Hop?
for Hop to give to his mom, maybe. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just like a wild theory that literally just popped into my head. But I did think
You heard it here first, guys.
I did think that Hopper saying, "You didn't answer my question," he didn't really ask her a question in that conversation. So on my second watch, I was like, even on my first watch, I was like, well, what question did he ask her? And I was like, that would have been a question that maybe she put off answering. So
Because,
maybe I do think that Hopper has already asked Joyce
Proposed.
to marry him. Yes.
I mean, like, trim that fucking beard.
Yeah.
Ew. It smells like soup.
But maybe the ring isn't. Maybe the ring is something that he's supposed to give to Hopper for his mom.
Could you imagine? I would actually prefer that. That's smartly written.
Right?
And that's like a clever little twist, because I got to tell you, Nancy gave up Emerson. Nancy is too busy. Like, her parents are fighting for their life. She's trying to, like, stop the end of the world, which also nobody else has learned how to shoot a gun in all this time. Okay. Or if you're Megan, you learn how to shoot an arrow.
Bow and arrow.
Yup.
Get my Katniss Everdeen on.
Love that. But I'm like, you guys, you can just tell I am a horrible Italian person. Right away, I squinted and I went, that's the ring. And literally, like, I'm sorry. Like, probably there's a budget and a shortage of rings and Murray got it. Like, beggars can't be choosers. But did you get that out of a Cracker Jack
Yeah.
box?
But
like,
I
that's
just-
pretty bad.
It's very cliche, and I feel like I feel like there's going to be more to it than just him asking her to marry him for all of the wrong reasons, just because it's going to fix their relationship. Like,
yeah, that's
there's
like the people.
got to be more to it than that. I'm like,
That's like the people that are like, we're on the brink of a divorce. You know what helped things? A baby.
Yeah.
Like, this is them. And somebody was like, watch Jonathan dies. And like, Nancy pops the cassette in, or Nancy thinks it's his favorite song. He gets Vecnit and finds the ring. And I'm like, that's the kind of like predictability that I had kind of a problem with this volume.
yeah,
And I'm like, Duffers, you're better writers than this. And I'm like, and I get it for a casual viewer or a super fan. That's insulting our intelligence because we know what great writers you are. Do better than that.
yeah. I'm like, I'm reserving judgment on that because I feel like maybe they'll do something cool with it and I'll be pleasantly surprised. Like,
Here we go. That's like I said, guys, bar is set down low. Like I
Yeah.
said, all right, another thing.
you have to have the bar set low, and it's real
Steve?
low for you.
It's guys, it's on the ground. It's in the upside down.
It's under the ground.
It's in the upside down. Somebody asked me, they were like, so I guess the air isn't toxic anymore. And I said, they got rid of that plot device
Yeah.
in season 1.
that
Please.
was they haven't been covering their
Please.
season 4. They never covered their
No. And then Steve driving headfirst into that flesh wall. Thank God they had their safety belts, but I literally went, there's another concussion for Steve. So I think that's the end of the Beamer, which is heartbreaking because I loved that the Beamer is getting its flowers, as the kids say.
As like basically a character in the show.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I gotta tell you, I'm not good at Legos. I would never spend that kind of money. But seeing that the Beamer is one of the Lego cars, I'm like, I gotta want it. So it was cool seeing them, and I got pumped when they were like, we'll go to the Hawkins lab. That's where I have my little like theory that they're going to probably see a vision of Eddie or something, which would be a nice little Easter egg. And hopefully Steve and Dustin will have their moment, but they might be marching headfirst into danger. I was like, since when have they had helicopters in the Upside Down? They're like, they can create these huge gates and stuff. They are doing all these crawls. They have a whole research thing. So it's very sci-fi, very interesting in that aspect. Like I said, it was great seeing these characters. Lucas, all of his scenes were heartbreaking. The whole Max aspect, I want to pick your brain about it. How are you feeling about it?
Well, the cave is something from the play.
Oh, is it? Tell me.
Yeah. So like he gets lost in the woods and like something happens to him in a cave. And we don't really know what happens to him in the cave.
Molested?
I hope not. But basically, I think people feel like we think just from the show that Henry was just evil and he found the mind flayer and shaped the mind flayer to his liking. But we've talked about this on the did something get him first? Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg type situation? And the play sort of sets it up that Henry is, there is humanity to Henry. He's just a kid and something has gotten him. So like the cave is like this place where the mind flayer originally, or whatever entity originally, whatever evil kind of took Henry, that I think happened in the cave. And that's why he doesn't want to return to the cave, because the cave is the memory that is the worst to him. And that's why he won't go in there. And that's why Max is able to hide in there. So that's just like a little Easter egg that you sort of know a little bit more if you've seen the play. It's not super necessary to have seen the play, but like, yeah.
Which I get that they want to sell tickets for the play. I get it. Because right away when they did that little Easter egg of her going back to the 50s, 60s and seeing everybody, the three people I was watching it with, they had gone and see the play with you and they all went, oh. And I'm like, okay, if that's just a little Easter egg, if there's plot points that have to do with the play, I get it.
It's not something that's explained in the play either, though.
Okay.
It's just the only thing that the play sets up is that Henry is just a kid, sort of like Will was just a kid. You don't know what has happened to him.
Because I was about to be like, why isn't this available for streaming? Because sometimes some of us get COVID and end up in the hospital.
And I think it's almost cooler that people will find out about the cave and not know anything about the cave. That's why I feel like I've said that I don't really want to hear a lot of theories, but I do have this one reel that I posted. So I reposted this reel that I've posted a lot of times, where it's Steve saying, why is this wizard obsessed with clocks? Maybe he's like a clockmaker or something. And this is from season 4, and Dustin is snippy and says, I think you cracked the case, Steve. And it's I've been fixated on that line because I feel like it's going to have more of a meaning
when
than
he showed his pocket watch. I was like, wait a second.
Well, the pocket watch also is the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. He's the White Rabbit. That Etch-a-Sketch in season 4 where she's making the White Rabbit, now Vecna is basically the White Rabbit. He's wearing the vest. He's got the pocket watch. He brought her into the Upside Down. The White Rabbit is who brings Alice in Wonderland into the Upside Down. Again, I don't think this is sort of like the Star Wars things almost. It's not like it's going to necessarily have an influence on the plot. It's just this symbolism that is cool to see. And I was right. Vecna was appearing to her and she that she was seeing this White Rabbit. So it's just like just setting it up. But so the Steve making a clock, have you read any in the comments on that reel that I posted?
No.
Okay. Do you want to hear like people's theories and like if you don't want to hear these theories and stuff, people, you can like skip ahead. But like I think that like the wall is a circle, right?
Okay.
He's trying to take 12 children. He's trying to build some sort of clock. He is a fucking clockmaker. I'm not the only one saying this. There are hundreds of people talking about it.
If Steve actually figured it out before anybody else,
yeah,
give that man boppers for life.
It's not like he is a clockmaker. He doesn't make clocks, but he's building this
building
clock
a giant ass clock
to try to do what I've been also saying is going to happen in season 5, time travel. And they mentioned
once
the flux
they explained
capacitor.
And the wormholes, I was like,
it's going to be time travel. So people think that maybe he's trying to go back in time to a specific point to like change something. I don't necessarily like think that he's trying to go back and change everything so that it never happened. But like maybe, but like the whole thing where it's like 3 days before the original day that Will was taken, right? I feel like that has something to do with like whatever that's why they finally were able to find him now, because he's putting into place this plan that he's gonna have, it has to be like November 6th or whatever for it to work. Like, and that's why we are where we are in the time. And the whole circle and 12 kids thing, it's like, it's a clock.
I'm such an idiot. I'm like, why 12 kids? Like, literally, I'm like, random ass number.
No. 12 hours on a clock.
No, numbers on a clock.
Yeah. So those kind of things are like fun for me right now. And I also have another reel that is doing pretty well because I highlighted how when they were all looking at the manual, it was very similar to when they were all looking at the phone book in season 4, and Nancy is basically Eddie in that scene, and Steve is like leaning into her just like he leaned into Eddie, but Nancy is just kind of like trying to like shrug him off, whereas Eddie
leaned back. He was like, all right, let's do this.
But I almost feel like that, so if like putting steady and the potential aside, even though, you know, we love to talk about that on our secret segment, I think it's sort of highlighting that like Steve is just like that with people.
Yeah.
Like
with everybody.
Right. Like he did the exact same thing with Eddie. It's not that like he's doing that because he wants Nancy.
And he's under laser focus with Jonathan, who's watching every single thing. God forbid if Nancy agrees with Steve's opinion or Steve agrees with Nancy. You know, at the end of the day, I think Steve isn't even thinking that way. He's just thinking like, oh, I always put my, you know, life on the line. I always put myself first to protect my friends.
I always lean into people.
I always lean into people and may or may not grind against them. It is what it is.
Or rest my hand on their lower back.
You know, it is what it is, baby. You know,
which he was not doing with Nancy. Somebody in the comments was like, "I can tell where his other hand is with Nancy. I can never tell where his other hand is with Eddie."
Yeah, well, we know exactly where it was. Guys, this therapy is helping. We started off ready to murder each other, and now we're like, yeah. Vibes.
Vibing. I hope that you're feeling better about it because I feel like there's like so much potential.
I'm like I said, I'm pumped for volume 2 and stuff, but I think I went entering volume 1 with the wrong mindset. I was expecting.
I tried to tell you.
Shut up, Megan. I was expecting Enzo's, you know, linguine and breadsticks, and in my mind, I kind of got like
Chili's.
How dare you leave right now? I was about to say a TV fucking dinner. How
you
dare
love frozen pizza?
I do love frozen.
I mean, we both love
you know what
frozen
I got?
Pizza.
I got the beef jerky and Gatorade meal.
Oh
and
yeah, Hopper's beef jerky.
That shit, which I guess is real, because of course we're looking it up. nasty. It looked like Lincoln log, like the flat ones that you make for the roof. I was like, bleh. Which Rachel's trying to find me Steve's shirt, the one with the red and like the, can't even describe
Gray.
it, gray.
I've seen a lot of people
tan.
making it, and it looks really good.
The knockoffs are a little too expensive for my blood, but there's been already with like the radio station stuff and Nancy's like whole pink outfit, every Nightmare on Elm Street-esque. There's been already a lot of cosplayers and stuff doing it, so it's been a lot of fun seeing the stuff like pop up, especially with the radio station.
Yeah. I forgot to say when I cheered the loudest during this episode.
One.
Science class.
Mr. Clark, he's brilliant. He's really, really brilliant. I'm like, hand it to, first of all, the teachers, MVP, which I do love that the teacher that was with all the children were the Duffers real life drama teacher.
That was amazing. Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, of course, only in a quarantined fucking apocalypto, town that the teachers would still be working.
Which, speaking of, didn't I say that it was going to be the apocalypse like many, many times on this podcast? Thank you very much.
She's getting cocky, guys. She's getting cocky.
Anyway, yes, the teachers are still working.
I actually said, and I quote, that if you are right about everything resetting like via the Lost Boys and everybody survives, guys, it was nice doing the podcast with everyone because I said the gloating. Well, like gloating already is too much. The gloating will
I'm already gloating.
It will be insufferable. But no, only teachers would be working their asses off, and I love that poor woman teacher is quarantined with the kids at the barracks, and she's the only adult with all those kids. You know what? Everyone was
miserable.
Like, it's unrealistic that the kids got away in the bathroom for that long. If you're the only adult with that many kids, no. Give that woman a raise.
Yeah, when Mike and Will are trying to like fix the leak and the kid walks in, I was dying.
I love the kid that
whole
gets
thing
caught,
is so hilarious.
Goes down in the hole. I was like, the dick jokes were a bit much. And you guys,
but I need to watch The Great Escape, I guess, right?
As soon as that happened, I went, guys. God, and I asked everybody in the room if they had seen The Great Escape. I was met with a lot of no's, but I was like, this movie, like, you will appreciate it. So we might have to have a little Stacey.
What is it? Dick, Tom, and Jerry or something?
Dick, Tom, and Jerry or
Larry, Harry.
Barry. But the I love Dick thing, okay, haha. But the whole soft or hard thing, I literally, this was when I was like, guys, I was crashing out bad. And you know me, I love a good fart joke, but literally, I acted like the biggest prude. I crossed my arms and I went, what is this? What is this?
Does Lucas say that he's going to make it hard again?
And then they said something about making it soft. I was just like, what have they done? They have massacred my boy, meaning my show. So I was like, Stacey, go to relax. You got to have a slice of Erica's pie and just relax.
You got to just be able to laugh. I loved Robin saying I love Dick. I liked the dick jokes. I'm sorry.
You should actually say group therapy. I like the dick jokes. That should be the name of the title. Will we get flagged for that?
Maybe. Oh man.
It's going to be a journey.
Any final thoughts? Something else that I'm excited to deep dive these episodes after we've seen the whole thing.
Yes, because I'm clearly, even though I've rewatched it, I've been missing things, and I think there's a lot of symbolism and Easter eggs, like you said. So definitely interested to go back and rewatch it and kind of analyze it better. These were just our initial thoughts.
Right, but also after I don't want to do that until we've seen the whole season.
Oh no, I want to see the whole enchilada
because I want to know all of these moments that are then going to pay off in the final episodes. But I think you're absolutely right with the whole only 4 episodes because I don't think we got many twists really. I was not really surprised. I was surprised that we didn't have as much of a cliffhanger as we did. Like, I
No.
thought we were gonna. I almost thought it was almost. I thought it was over a couple times, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's how it's gonna end. Oh, that's how it's gonna end."
I kept going cut to black, and
Yeah.
then when it finally happened, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, well, it could have happened a few other
It
times.
could have
so.
happened a couple times previously, because I was like, "Oh, like they're in trouble. Like it's gonna end." But then it kept going, and like, obviously it was like a very cool, like you said, like we said, like it was cool, even though it
Yeah.
wasn't surprising. I feel
Yeah.
like we talked about Will having powers as like a big possibility. So
Look at
Um,
us. Only at Skull Rock Broadcast will we be able to predict the future.
of time travel.
You watch, literally, I'm creating a giant clock so I can go back and reverse all the deaths. And literally, I hear
And we're
Megan
gonna
cheer.
we're gonna see that scene of Steve driving down the road with his friends in the BMW, right? Like that's what we've talked about, like
Mhm.
the Back to the Future type
Bitch,
thing.
if that happens, if they do Back to the Future 2 shit, like, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa. Because they have the technology. Lord knows they do.
yeah,
But no, like I said, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I was a little underwhelmed, but I think that it's almost best that this happened now. So for volume 2, which I am still pumped for, my bar is set in the upside down with the beef jerky and the Gatorade, and I'm just gonna go into it like that. I'm not gonna try to overanalyze. I'm gonna have an open freaking mind. But I couldn't think of any other way I'd want to celebrate. Is it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. I couldn't think of any other way I'd want to spend Christmas than watching this, because this show, man, I gotta tell you, the emotions. So,
Well, I was kind of excited, just to talk to you because I missed you, but also I was excited to argue about it with you. I
You
was
know,
like,
guys-
we don't feel the same about it, and that's gonna make this so fun.
literally, I told Brandy, Andy, and Rachel, I said, because I went, she fucking likes it. I can already tell. She hasn't really said it. I go, she fucking likes it. And I go, oh, she's going to really hate this. So, guys, the best has to be, I'll let you talk for a while. Well, you know what? I'm letting you listen. So, only at the Skull Rock Broadcast will we give you raw, unedited, pure bickering.
I might edit this a little bit.
Just a little bit. We might have gotten a little fresh with each other. But no, that's the one thing you can say from us since the very beginning. Like, we won't fake anything. We're very honest with our opinions. And like we said, if you loved it, that's amazing. If you hated it, fine. That's your opinion. If you're kind of in the middle, like Stacy, that's fine. There's things that we loved about it. There's things that we hated about it. And I'm sure when we are finished watching the whole thing, we get the whole story. Our opinions are probably going to be different, but deep diving it will definitely be interesting in the future. But I just can already, I don't know, just something about one thing I really did love was the color schemes in the wardrobe.
It was so vibrant, which I feel like was a little bit of a contrast to season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it almost was like season 3 vibrant.
Yeah, and I noticed Holly was dressed much brighter than everybody else, but my favorite color is burgundy, and now it's slowly becoming navy blue. There was a lot of reds, navy blues, tans, caramels, just visually like that. I liked seeing it take place in the fall, winter again, and I hope that there's going to be other callbacks from previous seasons. Where are the Demobats? Where are the Demodogs? Are we going to see the Christmas lights ever again? So I'm hoping that we see more stuff like that. But guys, we're here. We're in it.
Yeah, we're in it.
Do you feel like we're Steve and Robin at the radio station, but instead of performing sound cues, I just perform really bad jokes that you have to edit out? Is that us?
I do feel like that I think it's so funny that we we could have another little segment. You know, all of our Joe episodes were like about music. So basically we were DJs.
We really were. I love that someone was like, they'd make great podcasters. And we called it since the very beginning right away. We're like, watch their DJs.
You did. You called it like you saw one thing. I don't think it was I feel like it was before you even
It was before
saw
they even
anything.
showed the radio station. It was the bird. It was the chicken. And I saw like some vinyls and I went, is that going to be a sound effect? Are they going to be DJs? And everyone was like, you're crazy, Stacey. And I'm like,
You
guys,
called it.
ask me to divide, I'm screwed. Ask me to run a mile, screwed. Show me one picture from behind the scenes 2 years ago, I'll be able to call whatever their new job is.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, it's going to be my task to make you appreciate these episodes.
She's going to try to convert me, guys.
I'm going to convert her to a season 5 fan. I think hopefully you already feel a little bit better about it.
I am. Because I was not in a good place the last couple of days, guys. I was like, are you kidding me? Now my show? Like, it's in, yeah. I gotta
There's a
calm down.
lot that you love about it already.
Yeah. I mean, guys, Steve Harrington climbing up a radio tower.
Dustin sitting on top of the sunroof. That was actually a really funny scene.
Now they're just screwing with me because I got the Hot Wheels toy sunroof. Right away, they're showing behind the scenes stuff and they're super like showing the sunroof. And I'm like, now they're just fucking with me.
Like
now
somebody listens to
So-
our
yes.
podcast.
Somebody's like, that's Stacey. She can go kick rocks. Sunroof City.
Okay, so let's get Stacey into something more exciting for her to talk about.
Yeah, let's try to raise the serotonin. All right, so for March, my good friend Rachel, she got me the Beam Me Up, This Place Sucks.
It's my favorite thing from the show.
It's so cozy.
I need it.
It's navy blue. It's so soft. When she gave it to me, I went, too bad I can't wear this at work. And she went, why not? And then she went, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? My principal's like, we need to talk. And I'm like, it does suck here though, man. So I absolutely loved that. She got me also one of those like iconic moments, and I now have all the ones I wanted. I got Steve, I got Max floating in the cemetery, and I got Eddie. So super pumped about that. She also got me she got them off Etsy. They're the rubber chicken, but they're earrings. So I cannot wait to wear those. I'm gonna try to dress all squawkness. So really pumped about that. I gave Brandy and Rachel the Squawk vinyls for Christmas and the flashlights, and I didn't realize that you can't fly with batteries. So Rachel was like, oh, I put batteries on your counter, and I just like flashback of me throwing out the batteries, and I'm like, well, I'll dig them out of the trash. Guys, the stuff I poured in that trash, like I think I poured the last of the meatballs. I was doing a really bad job cooking American cheese over, so it was a mess. But no, it was just really cool stuff. That was awesome to see. I also received from my good friend Eli the Bullseye Target Eddie dog.
Oh, yeah, it's so cute.
He looks like Snoopy, so super cute. I also got from Little ST Starfighter, their steady calendar.
Oh, nice.
Super, super pumped about putting that up next year. Next year. And also I got from Brandy, which was awesome. She got me a ton of cute Snoopy stuff, but she got me the big giant gingerbread house of the Creel house that you can do for Stranger Things. So I'm like, I'm never gonna open that, but it just looks so goddamn cool. And then me and Rachel, we were left to our own devices on Sunday after Andy and Brandy left. So we were just watching movies, and she was like, bring out the Creel house puzzle, the 3D puzzle. She goes, you're never going to finish it. And I'm just sitting watching her doing it. And I was in awe. And she constructed it. And I'm looking up at it right now. And we had a joke that I was going to be like, you did it. You did it. And then I was going to like go to put it up on a shelf, and I was going to fall on top of it accidentally. It was going to just crush it. But no, there's been a lot of cool, cute stuff coming out. There is a Squawk sweatshirt from Box Lunch. I will send you the link to it. I'm sure it's probably like $60 flipping, but it's from the radio station. It's black, but it's got all these different color stripes going through it. It looks
Ooh.
amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Like I said, I usually I'm not, besides it's a t-shirt, I'm not too transfixed on Stranger Things clothing, but this season I love that they're actually making some of the clothing that the characters have been wearing available. So I've been really into that. And I know that there's going to be a drop that almost like the new Coke, Megan's favorite topic, that Netflix did. They're going to do a whole box set with the glass bottles of Gatorade. And you're going to be able to get, I believe, a towel and some other stuff. It's a little pricey. It's not for everybody, but that will be available, I think, this December.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pumped.
It would be really cool if they got the boppers. I would like to eat those.
They look delicious. And there's
Yeah.
a cookie crumble option.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
But like you said, the clothing that people are wearing in the show, apparently they're making Holly's shoes, which are so cool.
The moccasins, yeah.
But the only thing that I really want lately is that shirt that you have on. But also I'm still into wanting the Care Bears because I think they're so cute.
Those do look cute, and I know they've done a lot of press where they've shown them. I know Nike, I know Converse, they've done, and then there was a custom set. There's been a lot of sneakers getting released and shoe wear through the this new season, which is really cool. Some of them are cute, some of them not for me. But the Hot Wheels Beamer, the 83 Beamer, probably is my favorite piece of merch so far. It's just so unique. And that goddamn sunroof right away. I was like, Megan's heckling me somewhere and I can't just see it.
And they are making a new Lego set. I think that just came out today.
Oh, that looks
looks amazing.
Big Mac of Lego sets. Yeah.
And I love my Lego set, and I feel again one of the reasons I haven't finished it is just because I don't want it to be done. I want something to look forward to. So I feel I would do it if I got the new one, but
sick bastard.
Also I'd have to find a new place to put it because where it is right now it fits, but it wouldn't fit in if it was finished. So anyway, I also got a DM from Coleman yesterday.
I meant to tell you, congratulations.
So this makes me feel I want all of the other Coleman tents and stuff like that now. But it was so funny. I was telling my mom about it actually because there's so many giveaways and stuff like that, and a lot of them I'm I'm not even gonna enter because if I win this, it's just going to sit there. I'm not going to do much with it. I'm not a huge,
Megan's going to use a lantern, okay?
Well, I'm not going to use it necessarily, but when I saw that, it made me so nostalgic because we camped a lot when I was a kid, and we had Coleman propane lanterns, the exact same one that they're giving away without obviously without the Stranger Things logo.
Name 3 trees.
Oak, maple, pine.
Boom, you're good.
I think pine tree is kind of generic. There's different kinds of pine trees.
Because you live in Maryland, and that's where the Blair Witch is from. So I'm kind of glad you have the lantern.
You need to come and go to my parents' house next time you're here.
Are you inviting me camping? Because that's going to be a hard fucking pass.
They live on 10 acres of woods. You can just walk through the woods, and you'll think you're in the Blair Witch Project.
No. You know what? I'll have dinner with your parents safely inside, and we'll put up a tent in the living room. You go for a hike, my ass. Have you met me? Yeah, no, we'll put a tent up in their living room.
No,
I
didn't I tell you that
and they're gonna be like, what the hell?
For my birthday parties and stuff, we used to put up a tent in the backyard or in the front yard. And
I don't even trust the yard. The Blair Witch, she is crafty.
I've never seen Blair Witch Project, but
you'll never want to go in the woods again.
You'll think that my parents' woods are the Blair Witch Project woods.
Terrified. What color's the lantern?
I think it's green. I don't know. But I'm excited. I haven't gotten it yet, obviously. They just let me know that I won the giveaway.
I think that's really cool because you know what? the unique stuff that they've done partnerships with and collaborations with, that's the kind of stuff that I think is so creative and so cool. So I think that's awesome, that you get a little strike of luck and you win yourself a lantern. And, if you ever go for one of your fucking hikes, you can fight off the Blair Witch with it.
I know. I was excited. And then the other thing I was thinking of while you were talking with all the Squawk stuff is there's like a Spotify playlist and there's like a couple different things where you can like listen to like basically like you're listening to the radio station.
It's called, if you download the app Global Player, there is basically like a Spotify live radio station thing where there's little advertisements in the middle of it and stuff, and it's so cool, guys. I downloaded it this weekend and it plays a bunch of like 1980 songs, but it's the little like I don't know, advertisements in between, just that extra mile that they're going with this stuff, I really, really love.
Yeah, it's cool. So that was fun too. But we'll be back.
We'll
probably be back before Volume 2.
Oh, hell yeah. Maybe we'll do a themed episode. The holidays are coming up, so maybe we'll do a little holiday episode beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
That's always fun.
Let's do another holiday episode. I've been thinking I want to watch Die Hard again.
I brought up Die Hard again, and I was like, Megan watched all the movies that I recommended. And I'm like, I was proud of her, and everyone was like, which one did she like the most? I said, I think Die Hard.
Yeah, I did. I loved it. I loved Die Hard. I want to watch it again. I want to make it one of my like annual movies. And like speaking of movies, like I just watched, what was it called? Everybody
Wants Some. Yep.
Like I do want to make like moving forward like another segment of our show where we just kind of like talk about what we've been watching, like kind of expanding. Like obviously we're going to keep talking about Stranger Things, but like just I think it would be fun to just talk about what other things we've been watching, because I know we both watch a lot of movies and shows.
And it's nice, too, because like I said, I recommended Great Escape to you a few weeks ago, and lo and behold, there's a Great Escape reference.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we have to talk about before Volume 2 also. I want to watch The Great Escape. I want to maybe read or listen to A Wrinkle in Time, because I know like they referenced that, so we can talk about that a little bit. Oh, also, I've been basically just like processing all of my like thoughts about this by like making reels and posts. So definitely find us on Instagram. I'm at Steady Stories. The podcast is at Skull Rock Broadcast, and Stacey is at Stay Still Reviews. So find us there to like kind of chat about this, because we've been loving talking about it. The prison world. There is a prison world in the Vampire Diaries, and like Damon makes Bonnie pancakes, and I'm like,
oh yeah, I remember telling me that.
Why are we making pancakes in a prison world? Are we in the Vampire Diaries?
Yeah.
That was so random to me.
Right away I looked and I was like, look at those. Are those blackberry? Oh, it was really embarrassing. Right before we started watching, I had Fruit Roll-Up because they did an affiliation with Stranger Things. So we decided to do a race on who could eat theirs the fastest, like unraveling it into their mouth. And I like said go.
Sounds like a great idea.
It was great. Before Andy and Fred even got theirs like out, I was a go. So it was really me and Rachel. And we gobbled it. That sounds bad. And after, Rachel won, but right away I went, guys, was this blueberry flavored? It was berry flavored. So right away, Brandy's like, there's no natural flavors in this.
Did you spit it out or did you swallow it?
I ate the whole goddamn thing.
That's what she said. Or that's what he said.
Bye. I podcast with a child, and right away I like panicked, and they're looking up the ingredients, and I'm like, this was like 15 minutes before Volume 1 dropped. And I'm like, if my throat fucking closes. So like right away I'm like telling them.
This was a stressful experience for you.
I was telling them how to do my EpiPen if it came to that. I'm like, blue to the sky, stick it in the thigh. And they were like, Stacey, no. And then I was like, I'll just take a Benadryl. And I ended up being fine. There was no blueberry in it. And I went to the bathroom, but then I heard like Andy knock on my door. And he was like, you okay in there? Because Brandy was like, she's been too quiet. What if she's dead? So Guys, no natural blueberries in fruit roll-ups.
Good to know. Good to know.
Pear puree, though. Lots of pear puree.
I only drank one out of the 3 Buzz Balls that I had gotten.
Which one you get?
I drank like sour apple or something like that.
Whoa, gross.
It was pretty bad, actually. But I had like cheese and crackers and chips and dip and whole
love
little
that for you.
spread.
Whole little smorgasbord.
So we did the social media. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. But stay tuned, guys, and we'll continue trying to post more stuff that's coming on down the line. But please feel free to share your thoughts because we're interested to hear what you guys thought about Volume 1.
Okay, peace out. Over and out.
Over and out. Fuck.
Eddie, I'm not sure I love the idea of you driving.
Oh, I'm starting to suffer. Harrington's got her. Don't you, big boy?
And we're back.
And we're back.
Guys, I started a new fic, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Who's this girl? Who's this girl?
I was like, Stacey, I want to do a secret segment.
I lit up like a Christmas tree.
So if you have not listened to us before and you're just tuning in for our thoughts on season 5, that was quite the episode to start with. But it's gonna be like one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah.
We like to read fan fiction. We kind of like sprinkled a couple mentions of it in there, but mostly Steve Harrington and Eddie Munson, who is alive and well in our minds.
Yeah.
And in these fics that we read, we know that fan fiction is not like for everyone, and that's fine. So just turn this off now if you don't want to hear about it. But if you want to hear about what we've been reading, stick around because I'm excited.
But
do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
I'll go first because mine's going to be quick.
Okay. Yeah, mine's not super long either, but.
So I read The Radio Tower Race.
Wait. So it's Cherry X Lavender?
You got it.
They sent it to me before they even put it on AO3.
Girl.
It was so good.
I love that you read it. So right away, I was like, I can't wait till stuff starts hitting where Eddie's alive and he's witnessing these events. And basically, it's just Steve and Jonathan decide to do their little race up the radio tower. And Eddie is watching them, and he's just like sexy. And he's just checking out their asses and just really enjoying the moment, which I think we all would. So that's all I really got to read because I did have company over. But I was like, you know, when it's right, guys, it's right. It would have been sexy seeing Eddie race Steve. That would have been really sexy.
No, I think it was so good because it was so funny because he was like thirsting over Jonathan, like, and Nancy was like, that's my boyfriend. And he's like, I'm just a man.
Just a man, just window shopping.
But yeah,
so,
they told me that they wrote a one shot of the radio tower scene with Eddie there, and I was like, I need to see that immediately. So
it was great.
I got to read it before it was even on AO3, so it was fantastic.
Big old fan.
But
what did you read?
I don't know what this says about how I felt about Volume 1 because I did really love it, but I immediately was like, I need a fic. Like I need to read something with Eddie there. So I'm sure plenty of people have heard of this one. It's kind of long, and I'm just super excited to have gotten because sometimes it's hard for my brain to like latch on to like a fic right away, and it did for this one. And even though I haven't read too much of it yet, I'm like invested. It is called Good Old Fashioned Sexuality Crisis During the Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
By words_rain, REIGN_here.
Okay.
So it's interesting because it's similar vibes, I would say, to season 5 because like it's like the apocalypse, like the town is basically like not quarantined, but they have like checkpoints to like get in and out, and they've put like bridges over like the like rifts that have opened up and everything.
Yeah.
And there's lots of military in town, so like those vibes kind of reminded me of like season 5. But basically Steve saved Eddie and carried him out of the Upside Down, and they're good now. And I don't know what's going to happen, if there's going to be like, like a resolution to like the fight with Vecna or anything like that, like plot wise. But when Steve was carrying Eddie out of the Upside Down, it keeps switching back and forth between their two POVs, which I love. But it was in Eddie's POV, and he thought that he was having these thoughts, but he was actually like saying everything out loud.
Oh,
and I was literally just laughing out loud at this. And this is like very early in the story. So
yeah,
it was just delightful, because
I love that.
Basically just talking about how strong Steve was, and like how big of a crush he had on him. And Robin's there, Nancy's there, Dustin's there. So they're all hearing him, and Steve's there.
Dear.
So basically Steve made like a deal with him that like, because Steve was like holding him, and like Eddie was talking about how he like, liked being held by Steve. So Steve was like, well, if you don't die, I'll hold you whenever you want me to, kind of thing.
Oh my God.
So basically they're just
Send
like
me the
cuddling
link.
all the time. And it's like immediately in the hospital, like Steve and Eddie are in the same room recovering, and like Steve like gets in bed with Eddie and is just holding him in the hospital, and I'm just like swooning.
Oh my bitch. You are sending me the link to this.
I'll send it you right now, so I don't forget.
Oh my God, that sounds so cute.
Yeah, so it's like just exactly what I need right now.
Yeah, no.
And I'm so excited.
That's the best.
I think it's going to be very comforting.
Yeah, definitely
in this
need that.
difficult time.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a playlist that goes along with it too.
I love when they do that.
Because I just sent it to you, and the image that came up in the link is like the playlist.
You're the best.
Yeah, so
Thank
I'm super excited about that. I'll give you updates. And if anybody else finds any other good ones that like tie in season 5,
guys, send them our way.
Send them to us, please. Like, love it. Little one shots are great, or longer. I'm sure people are starting to write longer things and stuff already. So I was like curious, like the day after season 5 came out, and I was like scrolling through to see like how many new things had been posted with season 5.
Hell yeah.
I was like, this is going to be fun. Because I've talked about that before, how I was like, I've never really been a fan fiction reader before. So I've never like had like a new season of something come out, like, and had to like have people like rework like their ideas about it. Like, so it's very interesting. And I have to admit, even though I did love it was Max in the woods, they totally were like trying to make us think that it might be Eddie too.
Like, want to hear something embarrassing?
I hate AI, but that AI thing that somebody made.
Yeah. And I also,
so good.
Me and Rachel thought Eddie was going to be behind the door.
I thought so too. I thought maybe. And I was like, maybe I was right. Maybe it is Vecna that they have. Like, I was like, maybe she is right.
So when I saw 8, it was like on The Price is Right, when like one is like a vacation or a brand new car.
That's or it's like the what's the other one called? The other game show where it could be a zonk. Have you ever watched that?
No, so I'm going to continue with my Price is Right reference. And then one is like, or you get a new George Foreman grill.
What is the zonk show? Let's Make a Deal. Have you never watched Let's Make a Deal?
No, guys,
No,
Peace
this
out.
is it. This fits your analogy better because
Okay.
literally they have to like pick between three things, and
Okay.
it could be like a zonk where it's like not even a prize at all.
And that was 8. No offense to the actress.
She was a zonk.
She was a zonk, big time. Like, no whammies, no whammies. Big money, big money. She was a whammy. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Because
like,
I always thought it could either have been Vecna, like Al thought, or
Yeah.
maybe Al, or Al, maybe Eddie. And it was 8.
it was a fart in church. That's
Yeah.
what it was. It just didn't go over well.
It was Derek. Derek
was-
farting.
It was Derek farting with my farts. I was like, I'm going to love this kid.
When he was making fart jokes, I was like, Stacy's gonna love this.
She's on cloud 9.
See, and you should have been.
You know? Suck a fat one, Megan.
All right. Well, with that,
With that, peace.
until next time, bye.